Here's a paradox that says everything about Gen X parenting. The kids who were told to go outside and come home when the streetlights turned on, they're now being criticized for being too involved in their children's lives. Let that sink in. If you grew up in the 60s, 70s, or early 80s, you know exactly what came after school. An empty house. Both parents working, no one home. You let yourself in, made a snack, figured out your homework, and handled whatever came up. You were a latchkey kid, and honestly, you didn't think much of it. That was just life. Between 1970 and 1990, the percentage of working mothers with young children jumped from 37% to nearly 60%. Two-income households became the norm, and an entire generation quietly learned to raise themselves. Researchers have actually called Gen X one of the least nurtured generations in American history. Not as an insult, just as a fact. Your mom wasn't calling the school to contest your grade. Your dad wasn't mediating your friend drama. You worked it out, or you didn't. And somehow, you survived. But here's what nobody talks about. That survival came with a cost. The independence was real, the resilience was real, and so was the loneliness. Fast forward to today, and Gen X parents are doing something fascinating. They're parenting like a direct response to their own childhood. More present, more emotionally available, more there in a way many of them never experienced themselves. Psychologists have identified what they call the stealth fighter parent. Not a helicopter, hovering over every moment, more like a fighter jet, mostly invisible, letting you handle your drama. But the second something actually matters, they show up hard. Principal's office, full intensity, nobody saw it coming. This isn't accidental, it's conscious. There's a parenting framework worth understanding here. Developmental psychologist Diana Baumrind spent decades studying how parents operate, and she found it comes down to two things: warmth and expectations. The most effective parenting style, what she called authoritative, is high on both. Emotionally present, but with clear boundaries. I love you, and you still face the consequences. Research across decades consistently shows kids raised this way have higher self-esteem, better emotional regulation, stronger academics, and lower rates of anxiety and depression. Sound familiar? Because when Gen X parents describe what they're trying to do, be present but not suffocating, set boundaries but stay warm, show up but let kids struggle, that's almost exactly the framework. But here's what makes this generation's version so layered. They're doing all of this while squeezed from both sides. Aging boomer parents who think they're coddling their kids, Gen Z children who think they're too strict. Financially, emotionally, relationally, they're the sandwich generation, translating between worlds that barely speak the same language. They also grew up before the internet, before social media turned every childhood moment into public content. They understand technology, but they've seen both worlds. So when they set screen limits, it's not fear, it's lived experience. What makes Gen X parents genuinely remarkable isn't that they've perfected parenting, it's that they're trying actively, consciously, sometimes exhaustingly, to break a cycle while holding on to what that cycle gave them. The toughness, the self-reliance, the knowing how to figure things out alone, and adding what they didn't have. Someone actually paying attention. Someone showing up at 2 a.m. No judgment, just there. For a generation described as one of the least nurtured in American history, the fact that they're showing up emotionally at all, that's not a small thing. That's everything.